If you listen to the Graveyard Shift, you'll float too. You'll float too. You'll float too. You'll float too. You'll float too!
Welcome to the Graveyard Shift Horror Podcast, It's special bonus episode. Thank you for joining us. I am your host, Sheldon, and with me as always is my co-host, Mike.
Hello.
Mike, wow, this is very exciting. We're working overtime at the Graveyard Shift tonight. We are actually fresh off of watching the new It movie, the remake that literally just hit theaters, and I cannot wait to talk about this movie. Before we actually mention some things about it, Mike, how was it for you?
It was excellent.
Oh my god. Fantastic. They did such a great job.
I know, it's like they listened to all of our likes and dislikes and then they just thought, all right, let's give these guys their wish.
Yeah, in that 5 days since we released our It 1990 episode.
Yeah, so we got to give them kudos for their productivity.
Yeah, good, they were on it. But yeah, I love this. It was fantastic, phenomenal job. This movie lived up to the hype. The marketing on it was very strong, and they fucking delivered.
Absolutely, it is good.
It is not. It's much closer to the actual original Stephen King novel. Not a completely faithful adaptation, but pretty close, and much more so than the 1990 TV movie. Yeah, we're gonna go talk about some things that we liked about this, and so we will talk about some things in the movie. No spoilers. Well, there may be spoilers if you haven't seen the 1990 movie or read the book. We're going to talk about specific scenes that are, throughout all three. So if you're not familiar with any of it and you haven't seen either version of it yet, then this may deliver some small spoilers, but if you're familiar with the overall story, it's going to be pretty safe. So
yeah, no spoilers if you've listened to our last episode.
Yes, and if you've listened to our last episode where we covered the 1990 movie, then there's not going to be really anything new. We may talk about some certain scenes, but most of the stuff we're talking about is just going to be very general, so you don't have to worry about that. And stay tuned for the end of this episode. This is going to be just a mini episode, going to be very quick and dirty. But I was waiting for That's What She Said. But please have a listen to the end because we're going to talk about our very first free giveaway. So you're going to want to stay tuned for that. But anyway, Mike, I know we've got some great things to talk about. So let's talk about some of the things we liked about this new movie. I want to start off, first of all, with it was scary. Unlike where I said that I didn't find the 1990 movie very scary as an adult, it scared me a little bit as a kid when I watched it. I found it a little creepy. But at watching it as a kid, but as an adult, didn't find it that scary. This one was.
Yeah, it fucking frightened me at times.
It did, and not there were some jump scares. There's quite a few jump scares, but it didn't depend on jump scares. It really created some very disturbing imagery, very eerie tone throughout the whole thing, and a lot of it not even to do with the clown, the demonic clown Pennywise. Some of the adults in this thing are just normal people are scary. So that was one right off the bat, first thing, and you could tell right off the start from the very first scene you see, you start getting this very, or I did at least, got this very ominous feeling of dread. And even though I read the book, I saw the 1990 movie, so I knew stuff that was happening, but still, it made me feel tense throughout the whole 2 hours. So I'm taking it you felt kind of the same way?
Yeah, the bullies were scarier too.
Oh man, they really amped it up with the bullies. They went from, Henry Bowers and his gang in the TV movie. They went from just being kind of sociopaths, a little bit anger issues, just like the typical bullies that were threatening And then it got a little worse as the movie went on. But man, right from the start, these guys were more than just bullies; they were psychotic. Like Henry Bowers had was mentally disturbed in this thing.
Oh, like he was a freaking psychopath, absolute psychopath.
Yeah.
Like he terrorized everybody. Like even Bev, like he'd been terrorizing her for like years by spreading rumors and shit.
Yep.
They okay, like I don't want to spoil anything, but damn.
Yeah.
And when he goes after the kids.
Yeah,
wow.
They definitely amped it up from the original movie. How much the bullies put them through.
The Rock War.
The Rock War.
I mean,
it's fantastic.
To see like slingshots, it was like they showed up against the bullies with a slingshot in the first movie. It's like they had one weapon and the other ones didn't. But then like this one is just like, no, we all got rocks except there's 6 of us and 3 of you. And you get to see rocks actually like hitting them in the face.
I don't know how no one died in that scene.
I expected at least like 7. I expected to see like everybody just like getting wheeled off after getting wheeled into ambulances. Yeah. Just like crying their eyes out, like one of them holding his eye. Like, yeah, there should have been like a busy day at the hospital. Like what happened? We got into a rock fight.
Some of the lines delivered in that scene were great, which brings me to something else I want to mention. The kids in this movie, the child actors, they were amazing.
Absolutely, and to me, the like there are 2 stars of the show. The girl who played Bev, which when she's like, "I'm going to take control of this group and show them that they're the weaker sex," and she just like strips down to the undies and jumps in the quarry and just like, "What? Am I the only one who?" Like she doesn't say it, but she's just like giving the impression like, "Am I the only one here with the balls?" So she instantly takes control of the group and becomes like their like the object of all their either desire or what they want to be when they grow up. Like she's leading this group.
Well, I mean, yeah, if you're like 12, 13 years old and you've got a girl, like a female friend that's just like, that just acts the way that she did, like automatically she's going to be the leader of the group. Because any of the guys are just going to do whatever she says. So.
Oh yeah, she ran that joint. Yeah. But to me, the all-star of the boys.
The highlight actor for me in this is his name Finn
Wolfhard.
He's got such a badass metal name. Jesus.
This kid is going to run a metal band by the time he's 16.
But he was amazing in this. Holy crap. He's the same guy that plays, is it Mike in Stranger Things?
Yep, he's Mike Wheeler from Stranger Things. And if you thought he was awesome in Stranger Things, he cranks it up to 11 without Jesus. 11.
But yeah, oh my God, it was...
He dominates. As good as we thought Seth Green was as Richie, which he was perfect, but this guy's perfecter.
He was hilarious. I was cracking up. Even when he's not saying anything, like just his mannerisms and everything on the screen is hilarious. He's... And he absolutely delivers all the best lines of the movie. His lines are more noteworthy than Pennywise's.
Oh.
Like, I'm going to be quoting this kid, like some of the stuff that he said.
I'm going to have to see this movie again to quote his lines, because it was just... This kid was phenomenal. Yeah. I mean, this kid's whipping out the best your mother jokes I have ever heard. And the way he does it, like without missing a beat. His timing is perfect. He's not just like the kid that's trying to be funny. He's the kid that fucking is funny.
Yeah, he was absolutely so good. Now, something else too, besides amping up the scare factors in this one, they've really set the gore factor up high on this as well.
If we thought Bev's sink if we thought Bev's sink was in need of Tampax before.
Yeah. Oh my God, that was great. And Very brutal. Like everyone knows about, if you read the book or seen the original movie about the opening scene begins with Georgie and Georgie's unfortunate demise. Man,
His assumed demise in the TV series, and oh my shit in this movie.
holy crap! I was not expecting it to be that graphic.
No, it's like that's a kid.
Yeah,
They
you
did
usually
this
don't
to a
see
kid.
when it comes to a child's death in a movie. It's usually pertain to, like, in the original one, you saw Pennywise grab Georgie's arm and then, bearing the fangs, slowly start to move closer.
Yeah, it's implied.
Jesus, this one? Holy
Not
crap.
this time. Imply. What the hell does that word mean?
Yeah. There was no cutting away from anything in this one. They showed everything. So now that we've mentioned Pennywise, I want to go on to that. How good was Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise?
Tim Curry did good as like a...
He did. Tim Curry was definitely
like a whimsical, gentle clown with the dark side. This guy showed Pennywise is the dark side.
Mm-hmm. It was fantastic. Well, first of all, there's a lot of people, like, one of the big debates between, Tim Curry's Pennywise and Bill Skarsgård's Pennywise is the look. A lot of people are liking Bill. It's kind of split down the middle, honestly, from some of the things I've seen. Most recently, a Twitter poll. But,
Well, yeah, because there's a deception in Tim Curry's look. Like, anybody who first sees him could think, oh, he's just a clown.
uh-huh.
But when Pennyguard shows up, you just know right off the bat, this is not someone who wants to be my friend. This is just like some malevolent shit going on right here.
I kind of liked it because he looks like a more like a I don't even know if I want to say Victorian era, but like an early era clown. What a clown would look like. Where Pennywise looks like something that, not that it wasn't scary or anything. Like, Tim Curry did a fantastic job. He was definitely the highlight of the TV movie. But this new Pennywise, it's in something scary about it, where he's in the dirty looking, the old fashioned, like, 1800s clown look. It looks
Like the
dirty
Heath
and
Ledger,
grungy.
Yeah, like the Heath Ledger Joker.
Yeah, and his voice, I don't know if they did some kind of, like, modulation to his voice to utter it, but no matter what he's saying, it doesn't sound like a voice that a human could generate.
I know he sounds. I thought his voice was done by Andy Serkis.
Yeah,
Like he's just doing Gollum.
Hey, buddy, you gonna go play with your toy?
Yeah, it sounded kind of augmented,
You'll
and it was just
float too.
once again, like, no matter what he was doing, like, it was such a good effect. Like, he really was creepy. And I'm going to give it to Skarsgård. He is after watching this, I was wondering how I was going to feel after it, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to give the nod to Skarsgård. He is a scarier Pennywise.
He's legit. Like
Yep.
the same problem you had with Currywise was completely fixed in Skarsgård wise.
There was no, like, over the top funny business with the new Pennywise.
Nope, he wasn't a hammy actor. He's just a menacing, lurking, domineering force.
Even when he's doing something, like, kind of funny, his face is all malevolence. So yeah, that great job there. I did like the new Pennywise. As I said earlier, this one was much closer to the format of the novel. Not completely. The novel is amped up compared to this movie. A lot of things that I'm glad that was in the novel that they didn't show on screen, because it would have been very disturbing to see.
Yeah, apparently in the novel, I was told that you get to see like more of Georgie's demise.
Yeah, and there's also a underage, an underage sex scene as well. So,
Is it Bev?
yeah, and so nobody needs.
Please
to be
tell me it's
seen-
not. Please tell me it's not her dad.
I'm gonna let you read the book. You just read it. But I'm very glad that wasn't in the movie. Nobody needs to see that. But great story overall. They did it really did capture the tone, the feel of Stephen King's novel. So yeah, this was what it really goes to show that a book to movie adaptation can be done well.
Yep, you just got to have the right director, the right writer, the right vision,
Yep.
and someone who knows how to take the old terrifying scary clown thing and just remind them, hey, remember when scary clowns were scary?
Yeah. So did you find all the adults in this movie were kind of like off, like a little creepy?
Yeah. I mean, Bev's dad. I mean,
Well, Bev's dad
was
is a piece, just
we thought
just a piece of
we
shit. Like that guy.
We
needed
thought he
to
was a
die.
piece of shit in the last one.
Yeah, even more so in this one.
Oh,
But even him, like, I mean, yes, obviously he's like a certified genuine piece of crap. Like that's he's a creep through and through. But like even some of the like a lot of the other adults too. Like first of all, the pharmacist.
when they said he looks like Clark Kent, I thought, no, you look like Adam West.
Thinking like he's like, no, there's a little back and forth between him and Bev, and I'm like saw it with one of my friends that went with me to see it, and one of the first things he said, he's like, oh, okay, creepy old guy, why are you flirting with this teenage girl? Please stop.
14-year-old.
It's creepy as fuck. And then it's one of the kids, Eddie, his mother in this one. I mean, she was a little weird in the TV movie, but holy crap, she was a piece of work in this one. That was just way over the top helicopter parenting.
Eddie's mom, that was... And I don't know what the hell to expect in the next one, given how it was so different. I mean, there are characters which really don't look like they're going to make it to it too, but yet they were pivotal in the sequel. And the kids also seem to like undergone the development that their adult counterparts did. Yeah. Like Bev facing her dad,
Eddie standing up to his
instead
mom.
of just like, yeah. Like, all these things, it's like, wait a second, the adults barely did this. Yep. Like, so you got to wonder, how different is it going to be? But at the same time, you're like, they changed a few things this time, and it was for the better. So I kind of trust whatever they're going to do. It's going to scare, and it's going to be excellent.
Yeah. So we did mention this. I don't remember if we actually mentioned it on our It 1990 episode. But one of the things that we noticed that when we looked at the new It movie on IMDb is that the characters were there. They showed like the child actors that were playing the characters, but we didn't see any of the adult versions, like any actors playing the adult versions of these characters. And so we thought about it like I found it afterwards that apparently, like, this wasn't a big discovery on our part. Like, it was actually online at a few places that it was already mentioned. We just hadn't seen it. We wondered if they were going to have a sequel to this movie where this part, the new movie was going to follow the story just as kids, and then there would be a sequel down the road that's going to, follow the adult story. And so, yeah, so that was pretty much confirmed in this movie. So you see, yeah, it's going to be interesting because, like you said, like in the TV movie where there were some things that, some events that kind of happened as to these characters as adults have already happened in this version while they were kids. So, going to be interesting to see if that means there's going to be some new stuff to happen in the sequel.
Yeah, it's going to be a real curious thing. I mean, like, when do we get to talk? Like, do we have to do like a full episode when this comes out on video? So, because I want to talk specifics.
We may just do that.
Spoilers, like we could talk about this movie again.
Yeah, maybe we could do that.
They did change like a few things, which I think we can like talk about. Like, I guess in the book he was supposed to come every 27 years, but in the novel they specific, like in the made-for-TV movie, they specified that it was every 30 years. I wonder why they made that slight change.
Yeah, could it be possibly because it's almost 20? It's 27 years to the date that that this movie's being released after the TV movie.
Yeah, you gotta wonder if they did that on purpose.
I wonder, man. That is a bold marketing move if it is. 'Cause let me tell you, though, it hooked me. Like, I saw some memes floating around online saying like, "Oh, it's Pennywise the Clown returns every 27 years," and so it's been exactly 27 years since the original movie was released. And I'm like, "Hey, I'm sold." Oh, there was something I want to bring up to you. Remember when we talked about in our It episode that in the book it talks about, Pennywise is an eternal, immortal, all-powerful being that's inertly evil, but there is another being that's equal to him, but is a good character. And
yeah,
where in the TV movie, like they saw it when they saw his true form, they saw him as a giant spider. But in the book, they reference the other one, the good one. When anytime someone's seen it, they see it as a giant turtle. Did you catch the turtle references in this movie?
Yeah, they were swimming in the lake, and the guy mentioned a turtle at the bottom.
There was a sticker on one of Bev's books that was a turtle, and when Bill wanders into Georgie's room, he's looking around, and he picks up a Lego sculpture that is of a turtle. I'm wondering if there's a few more. That's the ones I caught while watching it, and this is trying to catch keep track of all these little details when you're watching a movie for the first time in the theater as well.
I'm surprised since it takes place in 1988, we didn't get to see a Ninja Turtle.
No, that would have been a good one. But yeah, so I'm wondering. That could be total coincidence, but that's why I'm wondering if this is some little Easter eggs, about what is it that he was called, the turtle in the novel?
I don't know.
I can't remember what it was referenced as, but anyway, it was hinted that this may be the Force.
Whoa. Okay, go on.
It was referenced that may be the force that brought the kids together to band together against Pennywise. And I'm wondering if these little turtle appearances was a little nod to that.
The space turtle is real.
Yeah. So that's all I wanted to bring up about what I really enjoyed about this, because anything else for me, and at least, unless I don't know if you have something else to bring up, but anything else for me would be delving into some major spoilers.
Yeah, just the actors that they had to play each of the kids was just, I don't even remember who the other ones were, but they were superior or just as good as the previous.
Yeah.
Kids.
I would say I think everything about the acting in this one is superior.
And then the bullies were superior.
Yeah.
We didn't. Did we get to see the cops? No, there was no cops. And yeah, the cops did show up, but
I don't think it was said that the cops was Henry Bauer's dad, was it?
Yeah, that finding out one of these cops is not a good cop at all, a very, very, very bad cop, but Pennywise, again, stuff that happens in adulthood happens in the childhood, but it works. It's just what are they going to do when the kids grow up?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to find out. I'm really looking forward to. I hope it doesn't take too long for us to get chapter 2.
Yeah, they wanted to surprise. I can understand. You can't just remake the movie, otherwise people will be like, "I already saw this movie." So you got to change it.
Oh, there is one thing that I want to bring up
we're in new territory
that I like much better than the original movie. I kind of forgot about this until now. The way that they fought Pennywise, I thought that was handled much better.
This was superior
by a long shot. I wasn't, because we even mentioned that that it was a little weird, in the TV movie, that they're like, oh, Silver, Silver pretty much kills anything that's evil. They did it differently in this one. It was not just like the simple matter of finding some silver earrings, not earwigs. That'd be weird. But it was it wasn't like I'm going to find some silver and a slingshot and then we can take down Pennywise. There was more to it, I guess, in a way. In a way, it was simpler. In another way, there was more to it. But the battle with Pennywise at the end was holy crap. That was a wow moment of any. If there's ever been a wow moment in a horror movie, that was a wow.
It was like a preteen Avengers moment. And like, I don't want to spoil anything, but finally we get to see what Pennywise really means when he says you'll float too.
Yes, exactly. I thought it was just like a reference, like you're going to be a dead body, which, will float in water because it's in the sewers or whatever. That's the only thing, like, finally you get to see what he means by you'll float too.
Why would he just be repeating Georgie's quote out of context to all these other kids who weren't there when Georgie died? They don't know his last words. Like, why would he be repeating, you're going to float too, you're going to float too? And now we get to see, when they finally find Pennywise's lair, oh shit, that's what you mean by float.
And that scene, by the way, Georgie with,
fuck.
like the Georgie screaming at Bill, you'll float too. Everyone, that's not a spoiler because everyone's seen that. If you watch a trailer, you've seen that. One of the highlights of the trailers. And that scene was even fucking scarier in the movie. Holy crap, that made me jump, man.
Absolutely terrorizing.
So good all the way around. Fantastic job. Not without a couple of things that made me it is minor, but like it did kind of stand out to me, and I do want to bring it up because a couple of things that I would have changed if I had like some creative control over this movie.
Bev's creepy dad?
Well, I mean that's there for a purpose. Like that is creepy and everything, but like that's that's really it's part of Bev's character. What makes her, makes up that character. So like, and it's meant for effect. So I would leave that, like that's part of the story. One of the things that I will say about it is that as good as this movie looks, it does depend heavily on CGI. And like CGI, I mean, don't get me wrong, like CGI is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. It is a valuable tool when it comes to filmmaking these days. But there are times when there are things, especially in this movie, that were done with CGI that could have easily been done with practical effects, and I think the practical effects would have been much more effective. Because as good as the CGI was, you can tell when an effect was done by CGI, and it kind of bothered me a little bit, just for the simple fact that I know, like, I've seen some similar scenes that were done with practical effects, and they worked. So I didn't think there was a reason that they had to use CGI in some of those scenes.
I don't know. I thought that everything with Pennywise during the final battle, like, just to showcase that he's not just some pervert in a clown suit, that he truly is some otherworldly force that these kids are unprepared for. Every bit of CGI he did was fantastic to show his foreboding power.
That I didn't mind so much. It's just some things that like were obviously CGI that I was like, yeah, it could have. It kind of stood out to me, and that's very minor. Definitely falls into the nitpicking category, but it's still, I've mentioned in so many episodes we've done that I really love my practical effects. And CGI is certainly some places where CGI is pretty much required in order to pull some things off, but there are certain things that could have just as easily been done with practical effects and would have looked better. So I'm going to give them a little bit of flack for that, but not a big deal. While the bullies were great, like they really amped up how terrifying these bullies were, I didn't really like the ending bully confrontation. I think they did that one a little better in the TV movie. First of all, like in the TV movie, you've got Henry Bowers and two of his buddies with him when they went after the kids in the sewers when they were going to fight it for the first time. Gonna fight Pennywise. But in this one, Bowers was by himself, and because to me that was kind of like a pivotal scene in the movie, and it's really set the stage for the second half. So this one, yeah, they did this one differently, and I'm like, while it was a great scene, terrifying, very tense, very suspenseful, like you really didn't know what was going to happen there. Kind of was hoping to see something similar, a little more similar to what we saw in the 1990s movie. So that was something. Was there anything that you want to bring up? Something that like maybe stood out to you? You didn't like quite as much?
I'm still riding high off the whole
Yeah.
thing. I can't really find anything critical about it. The pacing was good. I never felt bored at any point. We get to see these kids.
No, well, it was a
Uninterrupted.
2-hour movie, like which goes over like the length of time that I like my horror movies. This one for sure was the pace was great. Like there was not one point where I was bored and waiting for something to happen.
Yeah, I never felt like, well, I'd rather be watching what comes
Yeah.
next. Like, no, every single bit adds a bit of character growth, a bit of story pacing. Everything served a purpose in every scene, even if it was just to let you know that all the adults in town are just waiting for Bev to get a little bit older.
Yeah. Speaking of that, there's that was something else that kind of like bothered me, Bill. They kind of fell into what I thought anyway was kind of a an old-fashioned horror trope. Right there, one scene, the whole we got to go rescue the girl thing.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about pederasty.
No.
Like, let's just so everybody's sexualizing a 14-year-old
No,
girl?
I meant that like they fell into the old thing about like, oh, the girl needs to be rescued type of thing, and I'm like, yeah, that kind of like felt less effective to me.
Yeah, well, yeah, everybody else seemed like she seemed like the one that would need the least amount of
and
rescue.
I think it would have been
she
more
was a
effective
kick-ass
if it happened
broad.
to one of the other characters.
Yeah, but I don't think everybody like would have. Yeah, but also like she's like their leader, and also like the girl, so I can understand why it would be like everyone else. They'd be like, you know what, we didn't really like him anyway. But she's the girl, and it's just like if she's a friend, like we might get to see stuff.
It was just
no other girl is gonna strip down for us.
okay.
Like, if she's one of us, she won't have a problem. Like, again, we're talking from the 14-year-old perspective, not my 37-year-old perspective.
Yeah, good.
I just want to reiterate that.
You might want to bring that up. But yeah, it's that would kind of like I was like that probably may have been a little more effective if that particular scene happened to one of the other characters. But once again, there kind of was a reason for it as well. But in another effect, that's it's so hard to do this without giving anything away. But there's a reason why certain thing happens, but to that same point, it almost seems to me it should be a reason why it wouldn't happen. So,
yeah, especially given afterwards, like you just think, oh, it happened for this reason, so I guess this is going to happen, and then like no, absolutely nothing happens, nothing gets mentioned, and they just decide like they're gonna leave, and she's like leaving, and although again it did take everything that I said should have happened and went with it. So if you want to know what the hell we're talking about, listen to our previous episode about when we talk about it, and you'll kind of get what we mean.
And
then
so
go see
the only
movie
other
and
thing
you know
that
exactly
bothered
what we mean.
was There's a, not that this initially, when I say it, this is not the part that bothered me. There's a running New Kids on the Block gag throughout like most of the movie.
I
like that. I thought that was kind of funny and kind of cute, like the way that Bev was doing this to this kid, like when she discovered that he's a New Kids on the Block fan. But what lost it for me was like, they do this for a little while. It happens a few times in the movie, then it happens again, and I'm kind of thinking like, oh, they're still doing this. And then there's a scene where they actually play like a little clip of it kind of took me out of the seriousness of the movie for a second, because they show a little clip and they edited it kind of like kind of choppy for dramatic effect, and that not dramatic effect, for comedic effect, and they play like a little clip of a New Kids on the Block song.
And she keeps quoting titles.
that was okay. Like it went on a little longer than I thought it should, but I was okay with that. It's when they got to that part in specific, when they play like that scene, they play like a little clip of New Kids on the Block song. I'm like, okay, enough with this already. We get it. The guy's a closet New Kids on the Block fan. You made your point. Let's move on. So yeah, that, and like I said, all these things is very minor. It didn't take away from like the overall how I felt about it overall. Guys, I'm gonna say it like this. This is the best movie that I've seen so far this year. Year's not out yet, but from the titles that we have yet to see, like I don't think there's anything coming up that's going to beat this one for me.
Yeah, weren't there trailers for your movie? I know that when I got it, there was trailers for I can't remember. I know I liked them, I just can't remember what they were for, except for Justice League.
Yeah, well, I don't want to talk about Justice League with like the track record they've had so far. I'm not putting a lot of hope into it, but
there were other horror movies. I'm trying to remember. Did they have trailers?
I don't know. I kind of walked into the theater just in time for the trailers to be finished. So
yeah, I think there was like a new Annabelle movie or something.
But anyway, like it's it got so good. I'm gonna say it, put it right out there. I know there's gonna be a lot of people that are not fans of remakes. I don't even really consider this a remake, because there's a big difference between a made-for-TV movie and a theatrical movie. So I'm not even considering this a remake, to be perfectly honest. I'm
reboot.
Thinking that it's a novel adaptation, and it's a good one. It's truly scary, guys. You've got to see it. You're a horror fan.
It's the It movie, not the It series.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna go right out and say it. I'm gonna give it a full. When it comes to my horror movies, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10.
Well, I'm going to do you one better and say 10 out of 10. I really didn't find too much fault with this movie. None of any consequence. I loved the kids. Their dialogue was perfect. What the hell's what was the comedian? Rich. His dialogue was absolutely perfect. Every time he opened his mouth, it was so gold.
Going to be very. I can't wait to see who's going to be playing these characters as adult versions of them. So, cannot wait to see that. So we're in agreement then.
They got some small shoes to fill.
So we're in agreement then. We both give this like high marks. Yeah. So go see it. Like seriously, take the time to go see it. See it in theater as well. Like while you have the chance to do it. Like spend that extra money. Don't look at a pirated version or wait for it to be on video on demand. Go see it in theater.
Yeah, no Chinese subtitles, no home video in the theater.
Go see it the way it's meant to be seen on a big screen. Take some friends and just sit back and enjoy it. Just
give them money so that we can guarantee the sequel.
Support this thing. Yes, I'm a sucker for. I love watching movies in the theaters. There's nothing makes a better movie experience for me than going into a theater with a huge crowd of people, seeing it on this gigantic screen, and this one is made for the big screen.
Yeah, this is worthy of a theatrical release.
You won't be. I don't think you're going to be disappointed. that, and of course, this is all our opinion, but yeah, we give it a full thumbs up. If you value our opinion, then go see it. I don't think you're going to be disappointed.
Yeah, it's a big screen. It deserves to be on a big screen. It is phenomenal. It is scary. It's hilarious. You'll laugh. You'll cry. You may poop a little.
You may just do that. I think there was a lady at the theater when we saw it that may have pooped a little bit. I don't know if she pooped, but she was screaming a lot, and she actually started to cry at one point. So, so that's our little mini episode covering the new It 2017 movie. You guys, check it out. It's great, and we think is good enough that we want to do a little something special. There's another reason why we want to do a little bonus episode for you to cover it, is because we've got a prize that we want to give away to someone, one of our listeners. We mentioned it in our last episode, the It 1990 episode, but we have a Funko Pop bobblehead of Pennywise the Clown.
Is it a old Pennywise or new Pennywise?
Yeah, the original Tim Curry Pennywise.
Okay.
Just a little, while this movie's great, you got this new movie, we're going to give like a little tribute to the original one, the one that started this thing. So we've got a Funko Pop for you, and going to give it to you for free. There's not going to cost you anything. You don't have to buy into a raffle or anything like that. And a very simple method of what you have to do, and here it is. So listen carefully, because this is what you do in order to be entered in for this draw. All you have to do is either follow us, if you're not already, follow us on Facebook or Twitter. Follow us on Twitter or like our Facebook page. And on either one, send us a message just simply saying Pennywise. That's it. That's all you have to do. If you're not on Facebook or Twitter, if you're not on either one, which I don't think it's many people that listen to us, but if you're not, send Pennywise to our email address. Just want to make sure that that's correct, because I don't want to screw it up and give you a wrong address, but I believe it is graveyardshiftpod@gmail.com. So email us with the word Pennywise, or reach out to us, just message us on Twitter at GYS_horrorpod, or on Facebook at facebook.com, the Graveyard Shift Pod. So message us on Facebook, Twitter, just the word Pennywise, email us the word Pennywise, either one will do. As soon as you do that, you're automatically entered into our Pennywise Funko giveaway. Now, I think that we never really discussed this, Mike, but I think that a good time to announce the winner would be our first episode in October, because that would be a good way to kick off our Halloween season. Mm-hmm. What do you think? Is that too late? Like, that's about 3 weeks from now.
Absolutely. We're going to kick off the month of Halloween. It should be done as soon as possible.
That's great. That'll be a nice little Halloween present to somebody. So that's all you need to do. Once again, either send us a message on Facebook or Twitter, just the word Pennywise, or email us to our email address, the word Pennywise. You're automatically entered in. It's going to be a random draw. And you know what? We're feeling generous. If follow us on both Facebook and Twitter, do it on both, and you're entered in twice.
And if you want to get entered in 4 times, send us $dumb.
Yeah, so that's, and you know what? And for our Patreons too, like if any of our Patreon members that do this on Facebook and Twitter, you're going to be entered twice, because if you're a Patreon of us, you're automatically going to be entered in. Because I think that's pretty deserving. You help support the show in a very you even go for everyone. We like all you guys. If you're listening to us, you're helping support the show, and we thank you. But Patreon, you guys go a little step extra, so you're going to get rewarded for that too. So you're automatically entered into the draw. So if you message us on Facebook, Twitter, you're entered again. So once again, that draw is we're going to draw it and announce the winner on our October 2nd episode. That's when we're going to be kicking off our Halloween season. We've got something special coming up for Halloween. I think you guys are going to like it. We'll get more into that as the time gets closer. But that's all you have to do. Once you're entered, we're going to draw a name randomly. And the winner, we're going to message you, and all you have to do then is just give us your mailing address, and we will get that Funko Pop Pennywise sent out to you. That's simple. This is just a little way of showing our appreciation to you guys. You've all been great. There's, oh my God, there's so many of you following us on Twitter now. Facebook followers are up. You guys have been having some great conversations, starting great conversations on all of our social media, sending us emails, just reaching out sometimes just to say hi, and we really appreciate it. So we hope that you guys are going to like this giveaway we're having. So, Mike, before we go, do you have anything else that you want to say about this movie?
It floats.
It sure does. It doesn't sink, it floats. I just want to give special thanks to Braden R. for doing that intro for us. That was great. He did such a good job. And I wanted to thank his parents, too.
Oh, yeah. Creeping me out, too.
Yeah, he did. He actually did a great job. I want to thank his parents, too, Edmund and Kim, for letting him do this and getting involved with all this craziness. They're awesome. So thanks a lot for that, guys. You really added something to this little mini episode of ours.
I have a feeling if this kid ever suggests an episode, a movie for us to review, it's going to be a good one. I can already tell from the way this kid pulls off a good creepy kid voice.
I'm going to suggest to him next time I see him for him to be Georgie for Halloween.
It's really cheap. All you need is a Paddington raincoat and a balloon.
So easy. Okay.
Well, most of a raincoat.
Oh, you could even do the missing arm.
Yeah, he could just tuck it inside and just have nice bloody stump. That would be so friggin' good.
I'm gonna be so disappointed if no kids come to my house on Halloween trick or treating and don't have that costume.
Yeah, and that's we don't want to talk too much about it, otherwise it'll be a full episode and that would go into spoilers town, and oh my gosh. I think we should do you think that we should wait until it's complete, the chapters are complete before we review them? Yes.
If you know what, let's do that. If we're still doing this when the sequel comes out, then let's do a full episode of both
we get
chapters
to review
together.
The story.
And that way then we can get into detail with it and talk about some actual spoilers from it. So there you have it. So guys, thank you again so much for listening to us. Hope you enjoyed this special, and I hope you all will enter into our Pennywise draw. And be on the lookout for our next regular episode. We recorded it just recently. We had a guest with us just to talk about one of his favorite horror movies, and we had a blast, so hope you enjoy.
And if you want to be a guest on our show to talk about a movie you want, just ask. You'll guess too. You'll guess too. You'll guess too. You'll guess too.
Okay, calm down, Georgie. All right, guys, that's it for us. Until next time, I'm Sheldon.
I'm Mike.
And join us again on the Graveyard Shift.
Ha 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 ha!